instead of waiting to do it in future or at some stage in the future, now may be the time to consider doing it. And to do that, then you got to look at a couple of other factors that have to come into play, because obviously if the asset has a mortgage on it, or if there's money borrowed on the assets, in those circumstances you have to ensure and make sure that you get the consent of the lender. So in other words, you can't just automatically transfer an asset that
has a mortgage, there's an outstanding loan on it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
there's a loan on it. You can't just effect a transfer of that. So therefore you'd obviously have to deal with the whole issue of dealing with the bank and dealing with the lender. The other thing that you have to be very careful to ensure that if you're transferring assets, that you bear in mind that you must be solvent. What I mean by that is that you're transferring assets without, let's say, getting full value for them or not getting any value for them at all. So let's say you decide to transfer an asset to a child or to a favourite nephew or whatever, and you are not getting full whack for it, or you're not getting any consideration for it at all, or any money for it at all. Under those circumstances, you have to make sure that you're solvent at the time. And the reason for that is fairly practical in the history of the last number of years, in terms of the amount of people who are insolvent and are in a situation where they're negative equity and or they owe considerable monies. In those situations, you may in fact have a situation that transaction could be reversed, because at the time of doing the transaction you're actually insolvent. So for example, if you get an asset from somebody, if you're in the lucky position that you do get an asset, and they often say don't look the gift horse in the mouth, but the reality of it is you have to check the horse out, because the unfortunate reality of it is
the nag could be lame.
Well, exactly. if the horse is a nag, you may be in difficulty, because the transaction could be reversed.